Greetings, North Andover. I'm your hometown host, Ron Carpenito, and welcome to the latest installment of the North Andover Journal. Now, after a few games on the road, the North Andover Unified basketball team came back to play their only home court advantage match of the season. It took place on Tuesday, March 13th, and North Andover Cam was there. We covered the game, and we spoke to the coach and some players afterwards, so let's take a peek at all the action and what happened.
It has been an interesting time for local sports fans in the area, as they've been spending spring days watching sports that usually take place in the fall. These so-called Fall 2 sports were pushed back due to the complications put in place with the spread of the COVID-19 virus. But now, student athletes finally get to participate in sports like football, indoor track, and swimming. Another sport that got pushed back but is now happening, Unified basketball. What is Unified basketball? Head coach Ryan Burr explains.
It's run through the Special Olympics program in Unified Sports, and a lot of schools throughout the state have adopted it, and it gives students with varying disabilities the opportunity to play alongside their peers in high school and compete against other towns. So it really gives them a sense of that competitive nature of the sports, while also being able to develop some new skills, make some new friends, and interact with all their peers at the high school.
And with all the aforementioned rescheduling of events, the Unified basketball team wasn't even sure that they'd get a chance to play this year.
We weren't sure for most of the year if we were going to be able to have it or not, but a lot of credit to all the people through Special Olympics and Unified Sports and the administrators here at school, Ms. Habaker. So many people come together to make these things happen. And of course, it's the players who put it all together on the court, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So a big thank you to everybody who helped out this year.
So on a late Tuesday afternoon in April, the Knights took to the court to face Tewksbury in their one and only home game of the season. First item on the agenda, a senior night ceremony to salute the three senior captains, Zane Perry, Brendan Ryan, and Davis Randall. After that, it was time to play some ball.
Chartier now, Chartier. Moving up. Top of the key is Zane Perry. Perry hits! And Grigway trying to catch up with him. Comes up and hits. Tirano underneath the basket. He puts it up and off the backboard and in. Taken away by Grigway. Grigway, no one to stop him. Fast break. All the way down, coast to coast. Up he goes. In it goes.
And though much of the game was played down near the basket, a few players brought their long-range shooting skills as well.
He's going to put it up again for three. Hits! A three-point bomb for Davis Randall. He's just going to bomb one in. Hits! Gets it over to Zach. Oh, and he hits there. Oh, that's a huge bomb. Hits! Oh, my goodness! Davis Randall, stutter steps, gets another shot. Pow!
Tewksbury got the early lead and were up by as much as 10 points in the first half, while in the second half, North Andover surged early on and led by as much as 9. So with 18 seconds left, the Knights led by 5 points and seemed to have it won, only for Tewksbury to make one last gasp effort to even the score.
Long bomb, hits! Wow! Let's see, stolen, almost stolen right there. There's still time left on the clock.
The Knights just held on to eke out the 2-point victory. After the game, the three senior captains shared their thoughts on their time with the team.
Oh, I had fun playing, and that was mostly it.
Is basketball your favorite sport?
Yes.
My team did great. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I gotta keep knocking down threes every single day, every single night. I make Steph Curry. When I put it up, I always make it.
I was actually so happy about bringing the Unified basketball teams with my teacher, Mr. Burr, over here, and I was mostly so proud of all of us for how much we've all doing.
The Knights did only get to play 3 games this season, 2 on the road, 1 here at home, but coaches and players are already looking forward to next year and their chance to take to the hardwood once again.
Thank you, Bill. And the Fall 2 sports season has now wrapped up. And in a few weeks, the spring sports schedule will begin, which will include baseball, softball, lacrosse, track, tennis, and boys volleyball. Now remember, you can watch our coverage of all these sporting events starting on May 8th. Check our website, northandovercam.org, for all the airing dates and times for any of our Scarlet Knight sporting events. Well, very exciting. It is official. The North Andover Senior Center has finally reopened. We headed over to the Senior Center to catch up with the staff and hear what they'll be doing differently this time around to provide services and the excitement and fun our seniors need and deserve as safely as possible.
Hello, I'm Leah Morse. I'm the programs coordinator here at the North Andover Senior Center.
And hi everyone, I'm Kala Alstrom, the Outreach Manager and Assistant Director. and we're here to welcome seniors back into the North Andover Senior Center.
It is different. As you know, because of this pandemic, things have to be a little bit more spaced out. So the schedule is about 4 programs in one day, and you have to pre-register. So call the center, 978-688-9560, and come on down when you've pre-registered. We are also spacing inside, so you will see that we have about 6 feet apart when you are inside the building, and you are following a route when you're inside the building also, which is the yellow markers all over the floor.
Masks should be worn at all times, and we just ask people to follow the protocols that have been set forth by the governor.
Hi, I'm Jose Morel. I'm the bus driver for North Andover Senior Center. Wow, this is way different because before, with the full bus, I can take care of 12 passengers. So we reduced to 4. No more than 4, that's the top. Everybody has to wear a mask in and out the bus, and we keep the distance the most we can, at least 6 feet from each other. We should do the best for everybody, and see you next time with the full bus with 12 passengers.
So currently we are open to small groups. So our lecture series is back, our heart-to-heart group is back. We are also open to some small exercise groups. So definitely sign up for yoga, combo, chair yoga. There is a new program called Gentle Movement, which is very, very slow yoga and at the same time good stretching. So get yourself back into shape. So you can find our schedule online or here on the CAM channel. We will be posting that. And our upcoming classes and programs are all available there. You can always call the center and ask the receptionist what is available to sign up for. Again, it is small groups, but most groups still have some wiggle room to work with. So please call the center, come on back. We're excited to have you, and we're excited that we're open.
Well, thanks to everyone over at the Senior Center for sharing what's new and for all you're doing for our residents. Now, if you're a senior, be sure to give them a call and sign up for all the fun activities and services they're providing. Trust me, you'll really enjoy the joy and value it's going to add to your life. Well, it's time again for a Merrimack College update. This is where we're going to learn more about the communications and media major offered at Merrimack and get a better insight on class requirements, career paths, and overall expectations. Ready to check it out? Hey, control room, let's roll that clip.
What's up, Warriors? My name is Gabby Hero, and I am here with Nicole Fastiano to talk about her major. Hey, Nicole, what's your major?
Oh, well, I currently have a major in communication and media, and I also have a double minor in journalism and digital media production.
That's so interesting. I'm also a communications major, as you know, so we'll be doing a lot of the same things.
Amazing.
So what are some requirements that you've enjoyed taking within the comm department?
Some of the communications requirements that I have gone through so far have been Intro to Communication and Intro to Media, and both of those classes are required for the major or minor of Communications and Media. So I definitely enjoyed taking those to kind of help build my knowledge of theories, using different practices in communications, and being able to transfer those skills and information to other classes that I've taken.
So what sort of internships have you taken in the past or are taking now that have really helped you decide what you want to do after college?
So a lot of the classes so far that I've taken actually have been really hands-on and experiential learning, which is huge in kind of how I've been able to obtain certain internships that I've had so far. But currently I am doing an externship with NESN, the New England Sports Network, where it's a lot of professional development building, kind of networking with people within the company and getting to meet other students that have the same passions and ambitions, so that has been great. And I'm also currently a broadcast production intern for the Merrimack College Athletic Department, so I've been really hands-on with production of different filming for games, using the camera behind the scene and editing videos, so those two have definitely been career-changing experiences.
So now going off of that, what are some career opportunities that you might be pursuing after you graduate from Merrimack?
So I definitely love being on camera. I think I always have had that passion, but I definitely want to explore the whole digital media and production side that sports industries have to offer, or just news and media industries in general. So I definitely think I'm exploring paths within the sports and entertainment media industry with production, producing hype videos, campaigns, marketing in a way, and also looking into local news reporting just for WHCH, WCVB, smaller local channels. So kind of just navigating that pathway right now and seeing which one is going to be the best fit.
That really sounds awesome. And so to end things off, what's some advice that you would give to someone who's either looking to pursue an education in communications or who might want to change their major?
I think the biggest piece of advice I would give someone wanting to just get the ball rolling, like you said, with either entering the major or starting something within this industry is get involved. If you're a freshman or a sophomore or even a junior or senior, it doesn't matter at this point. I think getting involved in clubs and organizations on campus that can help you develop reels, a portfolio, writing samples, anything that has to do with different career pathways in this industry, I think it's so important to do hands-on experiential learning. So getting involved, I would say, is the best advice I can give someone.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Nicole. It was awesome to hear about your experiences as a comm student.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Well, thank you, ladies, and thank you, Merrimack, for the update. And if you have anything specific that you as a viewer would like to see from Merrimack College, such as a campus life, police logs, sports updates, and more, just contact our show director, Gabby Griffiths, at the link below. Now, next up, North Andover resident and local author Dom Nager is sitting down with us to read an excerpt from his book, The Lost Freighter. And he shares his main character's development arc as well. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Dominic Nagar, and I'm the author of The Lost Freighter. I came on the Journal about a month or so ago to talk a little about my book, and thankfully I've been invited back to talk about it a bit more. Last time I talked a lot about the inspiration behind The Lost Freighter, but this time I want to talk about some of the actual content. And I think that a good way to do that would be to show the character arc that the protagonist, Jason Clark, undergoes in this book. Obviously, this book is the first of a trilogy, so it's just the first chapter in a long transformation that Jason undergoes, like any hero would through a story. But there's a smaller arc in this that Jason undergoes in order to get him from the beginning of the story to being prepared for the second leg of his journey in the second book. And I think that a good place to start showing that comparison is right on page 1, chapter 1. And so I'll start right with the first, where he says, "Unfortunately, I'm the skinny kid, and I probably only have 5 minutes left to live. I ran down the deserted road at speeds far exceeding what anyone could do on Earth, but barely exceeding the speed of the jocks behind me, who could go from a chill walk to I'm gonna rip your throat out in about a second and a half. Get back here, Clark," one of the jocks roared from 40 feet behind me. "My name is Jason Clark, and I'm legit about to die." So I think that scene does a really good job of showing how Jason he's a kid. He's 16 at the beginning of the book, and he's afraid of the bullies chasing him. He touches upon the fact that these are some big jocks, he's the skinnier kid, he doesn't have much of a chance in this fight when there's a mob of them chasing him. And I think it's important to show Jason's vulnerability and humanity in the beginning of the book, because although the setting of this book is so far off, 300 years in the future set on the moon, it's not meant to be a really deep sci-fi book. It's supposed to be a relatable action-adventure story about a hero that we can understand because he's human and because he's young, and the journey that he goes on to try to protect the things that he cares about. Which leads me to a segment towards the climax of the book that I want to talk about, which shows how Jason goes from being afraid as a kid to being willing to protect the people around him on page 112, when he's planning to crash the Lost Freighter, which is carrying nuclear weapons meant to destroy his hometown on the moon. So Jason says to Jean, "I'm going to crash the freighter. It'll burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, hopefully, and the weapons, if they're not destroyed by that, will be destroyed upon impact with the surface." Jean shakes her head and says, "Don't do it." And Jason tells her that he has to, that it's something he wants to do to protect her and to protect his hometown from the weapons that are meant to get there and to destroy it. And Jason tells her one last thing, and he's struck by the realization that he only has a few words left with her. And he says, "Make sure you get home safe too." And that really sets the stage for Jason's future chemistry and relationship with Jean, and shows the beginning of his care for her. but it also does a good job of showing how Jason has gone from this scared teenager in the beginning to a hero who's actually willing to sacrifice himself to protect his grandmother, to protect Jean, to protect some of his new friends, and to protect his hometown from these weapons. And I just think that this was a good segment to show how Jason actually changes throughout the story, as any hero does, from a scared kid to a brave hero.
Thanks, Dom, for sharing some more of your writing with us. And for our book lovers and aspiring writers out there, please stay tuned to the Journal for more updates from Dom regarding his books and other writing techniques he uses. Now, this week on Cooking with Cam, we have a very special guest, North Andover Cam's own operations coordinator, Mr. Bill Robert. Today, Bill will be showing us how to make a Japanese-inspired dish called tamagoyaki. Let's get cooking.
Thanks, Ron. And indeed, yes, we're going to make a dish today called tamagoyaki, which is Japanese for grilled egg, basically, or egg grilled, I guess would be the actual translation in the order. But what it is basically a rolled omelet. So we're going to start here, and actually, normally what you do is tamagoyaki is made in a square pan. Like this is actually a specialty tamagoyaki pan. It's a specialty pan, and obviously not all of you at home, in fact, probably most of you would not have the square pan. You can make tamagoyaki in a round pan as well. First, let's make the batter. And the first thing I did was crack 8 eggs. So there are 8 eggs in here. Let's do the dry ingredients. So we've got 2 teaspoons of sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt, and then we start with the wet ingredients. This time we'll start with the mirin. So we use 2 teaspoons of the mirin, and then we'll do 2 teaspoons of the soy sauce. There's one more ingredient that goes in here that's liquid, and that is this here, which is half a cup of what's called dashi. And dashi is basically, it's a broth made from smoked fish flakes. So we put the dashi in there too. And this version is actually called dashimaki tamago. So make sure we get the yolks broken here, and then just go nuts and stirring it. You got to give it a good strain. I'm going to oil this pan, the square pan. Pop a little bit of it on there now. So there we go. First thing you want to do, pop some of the bubbles. So one of the nice things about this pan too is it's angled in here so you can get the spatula underneath. We come in here, and then, now the other thing is with the dashi, you're putting a little more liquid in here, so it's going to be a little more delicate, so you got to be really careful when you flip it over. There you go. Flip over a little more. Wow. There we go, we got some more. And finally, we've got some more. A little more oil. Pop this over here. Some more oil. And then pop in some more egg mixture. And as you do this, remember, every time you flip it over, you add the oil first, then you add more of the egg mixture, and then what you do is make sure that the leftover egg mixture goes underneath so that everything seals up nice. So now what we do is we go to the process of shaping it. And what you want to do, quick flip, and then do more of the shaping on the other side. Now what we do next, last part of the puzzle here, and down, take your sushi mat and just do that, and then wrap it up in the mat and just let that rest for about 5 minutes. And when we come back, we'll look at the finished product. So here we go, these are the finished tamagoyaki that we did. Now let's plate the one that we did in the square pan. I'll just take that real quick, just set this up here. And once again, just use the strings in the sushi mat as a guide. And then just make your slices, and then from there, And so there you go. That is the Japanese rolled omelet, tamagoyaki. Now normally when they serve this on the street in Japan, they have different things that you can put on it. They have, for instance, shaved daikon radish that you could put on here, but daikon's a little hard to come by right now, so I didn't have that. But some other things that you can put on to add some taste to it. This is actually a spicy kimchi chili sauce, and this is actually something that I use in the tamagoyaki batter from time to time. I use it in the mix. Something else you can put on top, this is one of my favorite Asian ingredients. In fact, I use it a lot when I make my takoyaki recipe. That's pickled red ginger. You can also try a spicy red pepper blend like one of these togarashis here, or even try some takoyaki sauce. So there's a number of different ways you can have this. It's really not that difficult to cook. And there you go. So that's the Japanese rolled omelet known as tamagoyaki. Now back to you, Ron.
Thank you very much, Bill, for sharing that delicious recipe with all of us here, and especially for all you do at CAM to keep us up and running and now fed. And if you're interested in being featured on Cooking with Cam, contact our show producer, Gabby Griffiths, by phone or email listed below. Now here at the Journal, we are always on the lookout for a great North Andover news story or even a fresh new idea for a show feature or a segment. So if you have any ideas or exciting news, please let us know by emailing us at thejournal@northandovercam.org. And thanks again for tuning in, and be sure to keep an eye out for our future episodes. From all of us here at the Journal and North Andover Cam, I'm your hometown host, Ron Carpenito, and thanks so much for watching.